Good afternoon. Been a while since I started a video in my office, commonly known as the junk room. Anyway, I've been to this location, the video you're about to see. I haven't been there before, and there was a good reason for not going there before, only I'd forgotten what that reason was until I actually got there. But I carried on, but I wasn't really taking much notice of what was going on in terms of videoing. I was using my phone to do the video, which is why the exposure keeps changing, which is the most annoying thing, and I do fully understand that, and I apologise. I don't know that I actually made a lot of sense with what I was saying. I was trying to explain things as best as I could, but my mind was elsewhere. And I took some images and I thought, yeah, quite like those, it's not a problem. Yeah, job sorted. And I trundled off home. I'd left it, a couple of weeks before I popped the images up onto the PC. And I thought, holy crap, what were you doing? And I started watching the little snippets of video, and I thought back, and the only reason I can come up with is I was so concerned with my surroundings and where I was that I wasn't taking much notice of the photography, I wasn't concentrating, and I was just settling because I felt so uncomfortable in my surrounds. I just wanted to get my images and get gone. And that's not really happened to me before. But it's the only reason, or the only excuse I can come up with, was as to why the images are so pigging awful. I've tried all sorts of processing methods on them, going high key, going low key. Nah, they're not getting any better than what you're about to see. So it doesn't always work. And it's made me more conscious of the fact that where I'm at and how I'm physically feeling affects what I see through the camera. Not so much in terms of compositions, there was nothing sparkling, I was just enjoying being at the coast. But maybe what I was seeing in my mind's eye wasn't actually what was on the back of the camera. I'm hoping that makes sense. So yes, it's not all rainbows and unicorns and amazing sunrises or beautiful long exposures doing minimal work. Sometimes it goes horribly, horribly wrong. And that's what happened. But it has taught me a valuable lesson. It's taught me two things, actually. First of all, if I don't feel comfortable somewhere, for whatever reason, I'm just going to stop and go. Or I'm going to have a good look around me and go, why am I uncomfortable here? And remove myself from that situation. But it's also made me determined to go back and get some images that I'm happy with there. There will be a particular set of circumstances, and it won't involve the kids being on holiday. And it won't involve a Saturday or a Sunday or even a Friday night. I've come to the conclusion that this location needs to be a sunrise, if only for my peace of mind. To enable me to go, right, I'm just going to concentrate on what's in front of me, not what's going on behind me or walking across the back of me, or what might happen to me, or that my bag might get nicked. I'm just going to be able to concentrate on the scene and what's happening with the light, the clouds, the water, and all of that. Now, this particular location I have seen some beautiful images from. So I'm guessing it's just me, and it's my problem rather than the location's problem. So anyway, without further ado, let's crack on and watch this slightly less than good video. Well, after much faffing around, excuse me, I'm short to do with this at the moment. I think I've settled on a composition I like. The lead out to the pier has arches, and I've got just the first one in. There's a lot of tut in the background, and I'm hoping that a long exposure will get rid of some of that. There's people walking up and down the beach and dogs running in, people walking across the walkway onto the pier, and I'm hoping that a long exposure will lose all of that. I'm aiming, because we've got no light, we've got no colour. There's a surprise, things that never happen at the seaside. No light and no colour. I'm hoping for a really high key image, almost with the water to the point it's blown out, but not quite, and just the harshness, I suppose, of the structure itself, which is the pier. Now I was at, yeah, that's it. I'm still not getting any motion to speak of in the water. Just want to check my exposure on that. Oh, no, my focus is right. Oh, maybe it's not. That's better. Let's try one more. That's it. I'm getting a little bit of a reflection in the sand where the water recedes. A little bit of motion, excuse me, in the clouds. Oh yes, I'm at Cleethorpes. And I tell you what, the smell of donuts is doing my tum-tum the world of no good. It's like, oh, it's tea time. It is about 5:30. Sunset is 6:15. High tide is around about now. I've had to keep my bag on my back because I really don't feel safe here. That's my problem rather than the area's problem, I think. We're at about a minute exposure. At least I think we are. Should about do it. Yeah, that's verging on a little bit moody. That was 46 seconds. The one before was 76. A little bit more high key. I'm at F8, ISO 100. Ooh, I'm just going to let it run a little bit longer. It's a very nice, calm day today. We've got a westerly wind, so I'm quite protected. Groovy flashing lights of all the signs. And the murkiest sky you've ever seen. This wasn't what I came to photograph, as I said. The thing I've come to photograph is just before you hit the pier. So I'm going to finish this, and then I'm going to wander up there. And we'll see what we can make of that. This was the subject that I came to shoot. You can see the big pier, and yes, that does have appeal, but not on this particular evening. This set of groins, I love the fact that they kink at the bottom end. Ideally, I'd really like to shoot straight down, but I'd have to do portrait orientation for that, and I really wanted a landscape orientation. I'm still on the Taquina, the 11-16, and I'm at, oh excuse me, I'm at 16 mil. I'm over on the right hand side of it so you can actually see the kink as it leads out. And beyond the end of the post are 3 red barrels bobbing about in the water. I'm presuming they mark some sort of channel for something, I don't know what. They will get removed because I don't like them. Although I might like them once I get the image on the screen. Light-wise, it's gone really blue. I mean, really blue. Which is a little bit odd. We've actually got a hint of colour in the clouds over there. That's not a lot of bloody use to me, is it? We've got a hint of colour over there. That's what I wanted. I am at, oh, if I can get this thing to work. Yeah, 88 seconds, or to be precise, 88.6 seconds. Because it's the 0.6 that makes all the difference, as you know. I've got the very end of the marker posts coming in bottom left-hand corner. That was a deliberate, I promise you, that was a deliberate choice. And then they go out and you can see the kink at the end. And the kink is just encroaching over onto the right-hand third. So I'm starting bottom left and going out to the right-hand side. I think I could actually get away with taking the polarizer off. But what the hell, we're going to give it another go. I quite like that one. As I say, there's really blocky, heavy cloud. I'm getting just a little bit of movement using the 6-stop. Once I've done this, I'm going to take the 6-stop off and see if I can get some dragging motion. The disadvantage with that is the clouds are going to be oofing horrible. I might try an image blend. If I leave the camera in the same position with the same composition, I could, theoretically, blend the foreground and the sky. That might not be too difficult, even for my limited Photoshop skills. The sea is a delightful brown colour. My God, it's yucky. But there have been some mad people swimming up there. Now it is 6.5 degrees. Don't think you get me swimming out there. I know I can be a bit of a wuss at times, but a couple have just walked past me and the stench of weed. I don't get it. And they've got kids with them. Anyway, right, the tide is starting to recede. So I've had to move compositions. I've done a couple of slightly shorter exposures, 2.5 seconds, 3 seconds, but I've had to move forward. So I've done the shorter exposures, and now I'm just having a go at a longer exposure. The ambient light is dipping all the time. Yeah, sorry, I feel, as I say, very uncomfortable. The ambient light is dipping, so I'm having to extend my exposure time. I think the first long exposure I did here was about 76 seconds, something like that. I can't remember, I only said it about 10 minutes ago. I just done one at 98 seconds and it's not working. So I'm just going to leave this to cook, and I'm going to have a quick look at doing this. Let me just swizzle you around here a second. Now, because the ambient light has dropped considerably, I've got rid of the 6-stop, I've got rid of the polarizer, and I am just shooting with 0.6 grad. I'm at, ooh, crikey. I'll tell you what I'm at when the camera wakes up. There we go. Jesus Christ. Oh. F16, 5 seconds. And that's actually giving me, that's really annoying. Let's go down to F13 and decrease that down to 3 seconds. Because we're on a receding tide, I'm chasing the waves out now, which is really annoying. And what you're seeing, I think the phone is metering off me, which is giving it a kind of browny grey look. It's bluer than a blue thing out here. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting distracted. Because I'm now chasing a receding tide, I'm having to move closer and wait for a big wave or a bigger wave to come in so I can get some of that dragging action. That's the one. And I'm not fussed if it's coming in or going out, so long as it gives me that little bit of motion. Quite like that. There's an oofing great tanker in the background, which they don't move very quickly, those tankers, do they? Portrait orientation, I've dropped down to F13, 4 seconds, and that's giving me some nice dragging motion around the start of this groin. Yeah, the only slight disadvantage, you won't make it out, there are some more upright groins to the left, and I can't position it right so that I lose those. I'll try moving over here. What I am now conscious of is that oofing tanker. I'm going to have to wait for a minute, so I'm going to just increase my shutter speed while I wait for that tanker to move. I don't mind cloning things out on the horizon if they're straight, but cloning that out when he's hiding behind the post is going to be a trick. And after this one, I think I'm calling it a day, because the light is gone. Or the light has gone. And there's more and more people coming onto the beach. So I might have to love you and leave you. Yeah, I might come back at sunrise when it's stupid o'clock in the morning and there's nobody about. Yeah, but other than that, I think I've seen everything I need to see, please, folks. I hope the images have turned out, and if they do, I hope you like them. I'll catch you next weekend. Have a good week, guys and gals. Bye for now.